2 extra large swimsuit to a large swimsuit. And what happened between then and now? Well, my dear wife, as you see her there, she decided that we needed to come to one of Suzette's programs. And I said, sure, fine. And one of the things that attracted me was that Suzette always emphasized that this is not a diet. And I had been through diets. The first time, see, I'm one of these people that loved to exercise. I always did. When I was a kid, I turned a comic book over, saw Charles Atlas. I liked that because my first name's Charles. And I thought, yeah, I need that program, Isometrics. I started out 6 years old doing exercises. So I always liked exercises. I always had some form of exercise in my life. Well, every time you enter some type of a life change, you stop exercising. First time I entered a life change was in the Navy. I stopped exercising for a while. And then I started gaining weight. And the Navy reminded me I was obese. And so I went through this every time I faced a life change. Then after the Navy, I went to college, another life change. I started gaining weight again. I went through the same process. And then after that, marriage. You always gain weight after you get married. And I had to go through the process all over again. And then after marriage, well, I'm still married. But my next life change was retirement. No, I'm sorry. I had a divorce in between my first and my second wife. I always tell my present wife, my first wife lasted me 20 years. She has to last me for the rest of my life. So there was a divorce and there was a career change, another life change, lifestyle change, and then I gained weight. So here I am, January of this year, weighing 259 pounds, 260 pounds. I'm in a size 54 regular suit in that picture. I'm not wearing my normal 44 regular suit. It fits me perfectly. So what happened here? Well, my wife and I, we came to this. No, I'm sorry. I went to the doctor in January to get my annual physical. She threatened to put me on high blood pressure medicine. My blood pressure was above 140 at that time. In fact, it was 141/92. She said I was pre-diabetic and that I was going to have to go on diabetes medicine of some sort unless I had a lifestyle change. And so there's all these medicines, and I'm cheap. And I've never been in the hospital. And my body's been better to me than I have been to it. Trust me. And so I said, well, this is crazy. Here I am, I've never been in the hospital. I'm healthy, I've never had a major disease in my life. I'm doing this all to myself. I'm my own worst enemy. And so, again, retirement, I gained weight, and we came here, and I started doing something on my own, because I'm pretty experienced in losing weight. I've been doing it over and over again my whole life. Every time I faced a lifestyle change. And so we came here though, and I applied these principles to my life. And as a result of that, I went from a 48-inch waist to a 38-inch waist. I went to a 54 regular suit to a 44 regular suit. And I think Suzette will share some other things with you. I won't bore you with my measurements. But I'm now 207. So I've lost all that since January of this year.
It's
So this works.
51 pounds.
Yeah, this works.
What happened with your blood pressure?
My blood pressure went from 141 over 92 to 117 over 76.
Yes.
And I just had it the other day. I went to the doctor because of something else, and it was 118. It was below 120. It's been below 120 since May.
That's so good.
And so I haven't had my blood work done yet, but I'll have it done in January. And I'm sure that my doctor, she saw me the other day, I had to go in there, and she said, "Wow, you lost over 40 pounds since I've seen you last." And she says, "Don't overdo it now." I said, "No, I won't." But you know doctors, they're never happy. But that's my story. And these principles that we're learning today are going to work for you. It's
What
going
was
to
the
work.
hardest part?
What was the hardest part? Well, because of the concept of this, to where you're not depriving yourself of food that you love, because of that, probably the hardest part was, for me, what's the hardest part? I don't know. I love to exercise. I got back on my bike. I started riding, so that wasn't it.
What kind of foods did you cut out? Was there any specific thing you cut out of your diet? And even though you loved it, or like ice cream or something, you know?
Yes, I
Like
substituted.
most men love ice cream.
Yes. I did, because I couldn't find a healthy ice cream. And so I substituted it for yogurt, Greek yogurt. And I put fruit in it, and you freeze it, and that's my ice cream. I don't feel deprived of anything. I mean, really. I guess the two things that I did differently was portion size, and I put myself on a calorie intake of between 120, no, 1,200 and 1,500 calories. Yeah, 12 to 1,500 calories. That's what I felt comfortable with. I was seeing a nutritionist over at the hospital, and because my doctor, I asked her if she could give me 3 months to make some changes. She said, "Only if you go see a nutritionist," because I was in pretty bad shape. I was in metabolic
Syndrome.
crash.
Yep.
I mean, I had everything. She's, as of the other day, she was quite happy. Yeah,
May I ask a question?
sure.
When you, did you have any plateaus, and how did you manage those?
Yes. My plateau hit me at 220. When I hit 220, I hit a plateau. I stayed there for over a month. But the encouraging thing was, even though the scale wasn't changing, my body measurements were changing. And so that was an encouragement to me. But I was discouraged because my goal was 2 pounds a week. I think it was. 2
Yep.
pounds
That's
a
a
week.
lot.
2 pounds a week.
I can't remember. Anyhow, I had a goal to where I would have reached my weight of 200 by August of this year. And when August came, and that was discouraging to me. I said, well, my body knows more than I do. So I'll just listen to my body. Because I knew I was doing everything right. So it was up to my body to respond. And so don't get discouraged if you set yourself a goal and you don't achieve it. Don't get discouraged and throw everything out the window.
Right. Exactly. And measure, not just weigh,
Yes, measure.
because,
I didn't start measuring till March of this year. That's the first time I started measuring, because I wasn't a big measurer.
right,
And
none of us are. It's a
but
pain.
It works.
It does. It's
It
very
works.
encouraging.
Mhm.
Does anyone have any questions for
Yeah.
Chuck?
And when you do plateau, and this can be for Suzette too, how do you kickstart your metabolism to start working, to doing what you wanted to do again? You know what I mean?
I increased my protein,
Okay.
and I lowered my
Carb.
my carbohydrates. Yeah, so I increased my protein. Yeah, make sure you get enough protein, because muscle is built by protein.
And that's hard for vegetarians.
Yeah, yeah, and Suzette will share with you how much protein you should be getting in each meal. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.